At home, Vice President Kamala Harris rallied supporters in Detroit this afternoon, telling voters in that crucial battleground state of Michigan what's at stake this November.
As we fight to move our nation forward, Donald Trump intends to pull us back to the past. But we're not going back.
And for more on this, let's bring in CBS News campaign reporter Nidia Cavazos in Detroit this hour. So what were some of the big takeaways from Harris's appearance there?
Chanel, well, Vice President Harris just wrapped up her remarks here in Detroit, Michigan, and she spoke to a room full of union members and union leaders, and she was here pretty much to tell them how much she appreciates the work that they continuously do, not only in fighting for themselves and bettering their own working conditions, but in also ensuring that other American workers also have access to the same opportunities and same better working conditions. Now, she was here to thank them on this Labor Day, but she was also here to establish the contrast between herself and that of former President Donald Trump, and also lay out what's at stake in this election. So Harris also told the union members and union leaders that in November, not only do they have to go out and vote, but she also urged them to continue fighting as if their life depends on this election coming up in November.
And you know, Nidia, it's important to mention that it's a Labor Day holiday for many families. It's busy. I mean, people are preparing their kids to go back to school. They've got family cookouts. Talk about the size and the energy of the crowd that was there today, what this says about Kamala Harris's supporters who are basically choosing to spend their holiday to cheer her on there.
Well, according to the campaign, there was roughly 450 people who were here, but this was mostly union members, union leaders, and some of their own family members. And like you said, they're choosing strategically to spend their Labor Day here with Vice President Harris. But this speaks to the enthusiasm that they have and their level of support. They're highly supporting Vice President Harris and Governor Tim Walz for the November election. And they were very engaged and very receptive to what Harris had to say. They were all also holding their Union Strong banners, such as the banner that's over here that was the background to when Vice President Harris spoke. So they're here, they're enthusiastic, but they also very much say that they understand what's at stake in November.
And Nidia, coming up later on tonight, Vice President Kamala Harris is going to be rallying with President Biden in Pittsburgh. How critical is Biden to her winning Pennsylvania?
Well, President Biden, since the moment that he announced he was dropping out of the race, he immediately announced that he was also supporting Vice President Harris. So President Biden here is playing a very, very critical role, not only uniting the party, but also making sure that his former supporters are now also aligning with Vice President Kamala Harris, and especially when it comes to these critical states. We saw that on this Labor Day, Harris was in Michigan tackling one battleground state, and now she's off with President Biden to tackle another state that's going to be very, very critical than sending her to the White House in November.
Okay. Nidia Cavazos, thank you.